Okay, I wanted to do a quick showing you how to make a histogram in Google Sheets because it works a lot better and is considerably easier than doing it in Excel. So as you're working your way through the course, you're probably going to want to decide whether you want to use Excel or whether you want to use Sheets to do the various graphs that you have to do. So I'm in the Unit 1-2 Lesson A here, or Topic A on graphing data, and we've got the data here that we want to use to make our histogram of times to assemble a toy tricycle. Also, I've got a blank Google Doc open right here called Histogram Example, and I've got a blank Google Sheets histogram example as well. That's where I'm actually going to make my histogram. So first thing I want to do is get the data into the Google Sheets. So I'm just going to highlight my data right here, Control C, and then Control V to paste it into Google Sheets. And what you notice here is that for some reason the formatting is a little bit off. I've got a blank space here in between each one of my rows, which I don't really want. So I'm going to sort of undo that, come over here into my Google Doc, and paste it there. And for some reason in the Google Doc, it doesn't have those blank spaces in there, which is what I want. So I'm going to highlight all this again, Control C, come over to my histogram, or my sheet, and Control V. And there it is, nice and formatted with no spaces in between them. So how do I make my histogram? I'm just going to highlight this data. And to insert a chart or a graph into Google Sheets, you're looking for this little icon right here that looks like a little graph, Insert Chart. Or you can go up to the Insert menu and choose Insert a Chart, one of those two. Now, Google Sheets here gives me some recommendations on what I might want to do with this data. The one you're looking for is the one that's called histogram. And if it doesn't show up for you, you might have to click on Chart Types and scroll down and look for it. Okay, so it'll look a little bit like this, and if you put your mouse over top of it, it'll say histogram chart. So I'm just going to click on that, and Sheets gives me a little preview here of what my histogram is going to look like. And there's a few things that I want to change here, so I'm going to go over to customization. Now, you can customize the things right now before you actually create the histogram, or you could customize them afterwards. So first thing I'm going to add is a title, which is going to be time to assemble, it was a tricycle, I think. A legend, I don't really need a legend here, so I'm going to get rid of that. What else do I need here? I should label my axes. So if I scroll down, here it says axis, horizontal, I can put a title in here, and that's going to be time. Our time was in minutes. Okay, and if I hit enter, it'll pop up on my little preview over here so I can see what it looks like. I also want to label my vertical axis, so from this little pull down menu here, I'll choose left vertical, and I will title it frequency. See what that looks like? Good. Now a couple of other things. If I wanted to change the scale on the horizontal axis, I choose horizontal, I could decide I want this to go from 0 up to 40 or something like that. So 0 to 40, and then that would put my histogram into the middle a little bit. Okay, or I could just delete these things and it goes back to the default. The other thing that is really slick about this is you have to, when you're making a histogram, decide how big these bins are that you want to put your data into. And it has automatically chosen a bin size of 4 here. If I want to change that, I can go right here to this item called bucket size. So a lot of times we'll want to use things that are multiples of 10 or multiples of 5. So if I just put a 5 in there, it automatically changes it so that my bin size is now 5. And I could change it to 2, I could change it to 7, whatever I wanted. So 5 I think is a nice number, so let's just leave it at 5 there, and you can see, well, you can see what our histogram is going to look like. And I just click Insert, and here it is right in my chart. Okay. Now, I don't always want it to be in this spreadsheet, so if I want to get it out of here and put it into a document, I can easily just highlight it, do Control C, come back over here to my histogram example, Google Doc, and Control V to paste it in. Now it's asking whether I want to link the two of them together. If they're linked, if I were to update the spreadsheet, it would automatically update the histogram in this document. I'm going to say don't link for this one here, and then I'm just going to paste it in, and there's my histogram. So I can now delete all this stuff that was just rough work in here. So if I wanted to, write in some text where I was describing what was going on with this histogram, I could just type it in here and then save my Google Doc or export it to a PDF or whatever I wanted to do.